What's up, everybody? Forgot to do the intro here. We're running late, get on space this morning, so let me just so you get the lo-fi music playing here. Oh yeah, here we go. Ooh, that's on. All right, y'all. What's up? Good morning. CPI day. Market's moving higher. Are we surprised? No, we called this rally. Market's still rallying. Market's moving. Past out CDD bands back in. Technically speaking, trading days get a little choppy. Once you've completed the DD band journey, there's not much to deduct from here. Let the market do its thing. Unless I get a clear scalp signal, today's not a runner day. When you see days like this, it's or you don't anticipate it, right? I'm going to be looking for other things to fill DD bands if there's trades to be had. But obviously, once you complete the picture, we call that a completed move. And once that completed move has happened, it's just kind of good practice to not try to take anything else from this. So I might not make a trade today, which is good. I mean, it's Fed week. There's so much coming up. I wouldn't be doing much other than scalping, getting in, getting out, calling it a hot minute, and then being done. Okay, monthly maps still show that growing bull pressure until the end of July, and that bear squeeze until July as well in S&P, and then we're gonna get the data coming through, and we'll have a different read in a second. Good morning. Hit that like button while you're here, everybody. Where is Matt? Matt is right here. Sorry. Get ready to get going. Well, thank you, JP. Good to have you too. Tuesdays are always my busiest morning. Always have so many things I have to multitask and do. Okay, ready to go. Bell's opening here. So opening up, so what we're going to do, and if you guys are just tuning into the Rocket Scooter to Spaces, we have a live stream. The link is posted on the Matt account and the Rocket Scooter account. You guys can see the screen live, and people talk about whatever ticker. Usually we throw it up for you so you can watch while you listen. And so the first thing we're going to do is analyze the entire spectrum of what's going on in the indices whenever we get our calculations come through. Right at 9:30, Rocket Scooter will print out all of the hedge pressures and numbers you keep hearing us talk about, and that's going to help us see how the day is going to move today. So give us about a minute or so. I'll come through with a report on that. We had a little bit of a gap up on the S&P. The resilience numbers, which show the strength of the gap, are really strong. We have what looks like to be a bull long up on the S&P as well. Numbers just now coming in. Typically in the first minute, we have an entire read of the entire stock market, which is great. So hedge pressure 432.5, which is great. That's a good, nice, solid support. We're trading about 435, so about 30 points under with the strong gap. So today, obviously, this isn't a reversal day, at least we can see for now, but if the resilience numbers start to show the gap is going to fade, then we'll start to report on that. So basically what I believe is going to happen is the market's going to kind of stay the course, kind of stay elevated. It might try to make a push, but there are supports. So I'm looking at NASDAQ 361 is the key hedge pressure level as well. Everything's bull long up, which is a great, it's just a great support of what we're seeing in this in this read. Now, again, I personally, this is not investment advice, but this is, FOMC week. We got all kind of stuff, right? So it doesn't make any sense for me personally to analyze this market as let me bet on further breakout when possible news is coming on, coming tomorrow. I always know that usually relax, usually settle out, and it waits for those big events before the next big move happens. So I would see this today. Before I even started my stream, I said I'm gonna sit out and probably just chill today, just for good reason. If I find any scalps, maybe I'll take them like against like point A to point B. But it looks like we're just still stuck in bull territory, and the market's not that volatile, and it's probably not going to do much. If it did sell off, I'd be surprised. If it just kind of started consolidating again, I wouldn't be surprised. VIX, like I said, we're reading the VIX as well. VIX is just kind of nice, steady bear decay move. Now, we do have an interesting phenomenon that could happen today, which is called a volatility event. VIX has a monthly hedge pressure. So on UVXY, an instrument that we watch for reading VIX, 2.25 is a very key level. If you break 225, it could create some volatility in the market. So today, watch $2.25 on VIX. We stay below it, it's calm. Above it, it's not. Other than that, everything is looking pretty solid. Let me just quick read on the Russell. So bull long ups across the board, looking good. Russell is sitting on its hedge pressure at 186.5. So what I would do is honestly, the only thing that really looks actionable today is the Russell. Russell also gapped up and is strong. So this 186.5 pivot on IWM could be something that pivots the market briefly. And I think on the Russell, I have a little upside target right about 1934 or 32, give or take. So Russell could be the mechanic that pushes higher. I think it's the only one with room to move today. So keep an eye on the Russell. That's my call. All right, let's watch some stocks. What's up, y'all? Bull long ups across the board, resilient, strong, DD strong. Strong, 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 strong and long. Yeah, can hear him. Wow, 95. Okay, this just in. Our DD number just came through, which is the percent of market cap in the bull zone. 95. That is the second highest it's been all year. This is incredible. People are freaking out on the stream. This is the market. Everything is stuck in bull zone. Right? It's 95% of the market cap's trading in a bull zone according to Rocket Scooter. That's massive. I mean, that's pegged out on the chart. So that's insane. It is a genuine bull market. All you bears out there, stop hoping. You can't. There's no stocks that are bearish for the most part. 95 is the second highest it's been. That's crazy. Wow. Any plans to bring a Rocket Scooter app to iOS at some point? I mean, obviously we'll run out of shit to build, and we'll build an app. Actually, what I'm saying, we're never gonna run out of shit to build. I'm like Elon. If I start one company and it gets going really good, I'm gonna start another one with the proceeds in the first one. I'm always building something. That's the engineer in me. So, but joke aside, we're always on our scope, like what we have planned out. An app is something we've kind of like thrown out there to talk about. I'll tell you, it's in the maybe 2-year plan, 3-year plan. An app is a whole separate development team, and creating an app from scratch is a whole different side development. So we'd have to create like our current development path, and then have a separate team taking what we've made here and porting it over to iOS and Android, right? So it's a tremendous effort, and we would obviously have our full platform completed before we went that route. So the idea would be, like, we're gonna leave live trading in about 2 weeks on the beta, so I'll be able to play with that on the test server. And then about a month, you guys will be able to be live trading in futures. Probably within 2 weeks or so after that, we're gonna have our open door to pretty much every major brokerage also. So live trading is the first step, and then solidifying the modules we want to build, and then from there we could probably branch off and make an app. I don't think you want to be like Elon anymore. What's he like these days? I'm not even paying attention to Twitter and news. I'm the busiest guy on the planet, that's for sure. I feel like I have 14 jobs. I'm not gonna lie. My life is fun though. If your idea of fun is never relaxing, never sleeping, always doing something, phone's always ringing, somebody's always texting you, somebody's always messaging you, there's always something to do, you're always checking on something, you're always building something, and you don't want to have like a social life or friends that you hang out with regularly. You know, your friends always being like, how come we never see you? And there you go. But the positive to that life is you get to change the world, which is great. You check Empower, yeah. We love it. Actually, I do hang out with my friends a lot. But work hard, party harder. I party pretty hard, I'm not gonna lie. But not all the time. Just to catch, I like catch up partying. Looks like we don't have data for this. Let me see if there's a monthly data here. You know what I'm saying? Like if you go out to the bar once or twice a week, you're probably not going to rage. You're probably just going to like have a sip of beer. When I go out once every 1 or 2 months, I rage because that's the only time I ever get to do anything. If I'm a dad, I don't, you know, any spare time I get, I try to go be a dad, you know. I got to do my dad stuff. Jiu-jitsu, t-ball, basketball, you know, the normal things. Brian knows. Brian's raged with me a couple times, which is rare though. We don't. Brian, we have to go. You have to tell Perla. We were talking about you guys the other day. We want to go to dinner or something next week, the week after, if y'all are around. I know, dude. I'm not taking any trades today, so I don't have data or Empower. Sorry about that. So it looks like we don't have anything for it. Nothing. No data for walls. Probably because nobody's ever looked at it before. We have an algorithm that looks for the tickers you guys search for. If nobody's ever pulled it up, then we won't have data for it. But it appends it to the list, so it'll be there for tomorrow. Come back tomorrow. Yep. Yes. Turn on space as well. Down for dinner? I mean, if you guys are in Houston, we should have a dinner sometime this week. We should go do next week. Next week. Like I said, Ash and I are building right now some really solid relationships. We're building probably, if you guys think futures and app and all this stuff is great, pivots, rocks here. We're building possibly the biggest thing this company's ever gonna do right now, and hopefully this is gonna be something everybody in this group is gonna be excited about. So, like I said, we've been busy. Okay, let's take a look at the market here. Nasdaq slightly pulling off the upper DD band. Like I said, day is pretty much over, right? When you hit DD band, just don't. From here, I don't do anything once this has been achieved pre-market. I don't try to think too much about the market. If you break outside of here, it's irrational and random. It can do a million random things. And with Fed Day coming up, it's really not much to take from this. You can see a little bit of deviation as well. Like I said, Russell's the only one with place to move. God, I like when I can say these things and they come out to be true. I said Nasdaq's probably done. S&P's probably done. Russell's the only one with room to move. Do you see that? And which one's moving up and which ones aren't? That's the point that you can use DD bands to see that. I know that Nasdaq, anytime any one of the three hits the upper DD band, the other two may halt. Now, sometimes they can differ, but you always take caution here, right? Nasdaq has hit the end of its move. Usually I take the approach that all of them have stopped because they don't normally diverge from each other too much. They tend to stay on the same path. But you can see that in this particular environment, you know, tech is starting to become slightly more exhausted and small caps are the ones that haven't moved that much. So you're seeing a lot of people roll out of just taking slight profit in NASDAQ and rolling into Russell. And you can see Russell is the one that has barely started to move. And that's likely so, right? We're in an actual real recession. Planting money into hot tech and planting money into hot finances and stuff has nothing to do with anything more than it's what I like to call the lesser of two inflations. Hold on. Yeah, I like... so out the door, I'm talking about this on the stream as well. You see out the door, when I said right before the market opens, is a pre-market trick we use, and it's one of the techniques we do teach at Rocket Scooter. So those of you that are curious about what Rocket Scooter is, we have a technology called Positional Risk Analysis. What we do is we can look in the options data, the full options order flow, and we can extract valuable information from that no one else does. And what it is we can isolate algorithmically where market maker and institutional positions are and create a risk spread of where positional risk is. That's why we call it. So who's long and who's short of the big dogs. We filter out most of the junk options that don't mean anything, or the YOLOs, or the stuff that you would perceive as speculative. Then we just strictly focus on what's important to the market. Market makers hedge their books to zero as much as they can, so it forces them to trade if options go in the money. Very key thing that you heard me say is force people to trade. Hedge pressure is a force interaction point. As a matter of fact, it's a predictable high volume node from 930. When you hear us say hedge pressure, anytime you touch it, volume will spike massively. The fact that we can calculate that is a revolution in trading analysis. There's no more technical analysis in this platform. We have a whole new way of seeing the market. So now when we're talking about this morning, remember I said that Nasdaq's probably sitting still, S&P is probably moving, and IWM is probably the one that has room to move. And then look at the one that's moving. IWM's moving, Nasdaq's sitting still, and that was pre-market, right? How are you able to do that? It's a whole new paradigm. We invite you guys to all stick around and listen and learn the things that we are teaching, because these are whole different styles of trading. And this kind of idea is that a trader can plan before it happens, right? And so if you can see things before they happen, that is the goal, instead of using generic technicals to see things after they happen, right? That's silly to us. So the idea right now is that the market is just trading off of this news event, right? We had CPI today, and how's the market going to respond to it? Well, everything is very solid and bullish. This is the strongest bull number we've had in a long time. DD being in the high 90s is crazy. That's very bullish. Now it means that the market's likely not going to sell off. But leading up into Fed, I'm also going to take the bet it's not going to run really fast from here either. So I think that the market's still going to continue to push higher, little by little. And I'm looking for just volatile drops to long on. And it's probably going to be this way for the next month. I see Adam with his hand raised. What you got from me, man? Russell, the one that's moving. And these are the things we want to invite people to understand, right? And by the way, everyone smash that like button. I'm going to get up here every morning, crawl myself out of bed and stream, and y'all have to wake up and push one button. That would make me feel like the happiest guy in the world. Oops. Okay, let me log back. I must have logged out of my platform there. Here's my password. I love Rocket Scooter 1234. Don't tell anybody. Moving this right here. So we have that we look for on a day-to-day basis. It's one of what we call our rational boundaries, and the markets move to a certain predetermined level. It's something we actually calculate the night before, right about 5:45 Eastern. They're numbers that are static in futures. This is a look at futures. So another set of tools you'll hear us talk about here. We have exploits for the equities world and exploits for the futures world. They're completely different ways of looking at something. For instance, we're talking about Russell and the S&P and Nasdaq's a lot. There are certain calculations that we do to exploit the margining practices of what creates margin requirements for these things. Call them risk intervals. And what happens when markets move a certain distance, right? These index futures. There's some key levels that you can also calculate in futures that you can't calculate with equities. So like for the S&P, we look at it from two different angles. We look at where resistances can be in futures and where resistances can be in equities. Did you know that today's, let me load it up really quick. 1 second. So the S&P today, right? So from 5 o'clock or 5:45 yesterday, I had drawn on my futures chart 4422, and that's also in the bot, by the way. We have a bot that publishes this number, 4422. Where did the S&P futures just pivot from? 4422, exactly to the penny. There is a mechanic that's taking place right there as well to keep the market just balanced. Futures and equities are all loosely tracking each other, right? The rubber band attached to them. They're all tracking the stocks, but they all can trade independently because they have their own independent supply and demand. You calculate a pivot, we call it a DD band. 4422 is the upper limit today on the S&P. Why I didn't take a trade today in the S&P? Because that was the upper limit. and we're pretty much sitting flat close to where we started. The idea that I didn't think there's a lot of travel before we'd hit some noise just had me sit out from the start of the day in my trade. So I didn't really try to speculate too hard on this. I just figured probably had 6 or 7 points to run before we hit our first resistance, and look, we're doing it like that. So when you're actually doing these types of analysis, you can look at futures if you're a futures trader, or ETF, and equities world if you're an equities or options trader. And so we have a little bit of something for everybody here to calculate. CD band is a very strong boundary, and if you break through it, we call markets irrational. And irrational markets just are random from there, and you'll notice technicals don't really hold up and things kind of get weird and funky. So I usually just trade to the edge of the band and call it a day, and this would be the end of the day, clearly, on that first move up, at least from my analysis perspective. And Ashton may have ways to trade it. Typically, when you hit those bands, a lot of times we'll sell credit spreads, call credit spreads, anything to, like, you know, basically project it won't rally and break through that, or even sell put spreads below the bottom band, which is about 43.60 today. So there's tons of ways to trade a market that you think isn't going to move too far. Obviously, with the VIX being low, I can't expect the market to drop that hard at all today. So I don't know, Ashton, are you looking at any kind of spreads or iron condors, anything today? How are you trading this? Doesn't hurt Russell? No, don't hurt no Russell. DD band pegged out and stopped. Okay, so let's do our analysis, right? Every morning. Every morning you do the same thing. Ready? Bull long up. Let's start from the top. Everybody's going to practice this, and you're going to be so good at this every day. I'm just going to be so proud. I need to give out like little prizes for people that complete our boot camp. First things first, okay? You have resilience, DD, and liquidity map, the big three. Let's draw it up. Take what you see, and you can get this from our Discord. You take this and just literally draw it right there. Draw what you see. Okay, ready? Open, blue, open. It's a V. Ready? Open, blue, open. If you support it open, it goes to next resistance. If you support it open, it goes to next resistance. Oh, there's one right there. Okay. The bot calculates that in the Discord. I just drew it on there manually. We should have this automated when futures come out, though. Okay. Everybody see this part? If you understand this part, throw us a big fat yes in chat. So far, so good, right? I'm just using the legend. Each one of these things mirrors something like this, and I just basically drew that. And as you see, open resistance right there. You'll see that? When I say open, if we support it open, goes to DD band, I'm like, that's such a small day, day's over. Now, again, it's going to bounce around and be random from here. Or at least I can draw that on there as well. Okay, let's look at the other rules. Resilience being positive. If resilience is greater than 0, you draw a little bit of a line right there for res being greater than 0. Half gap of support in mode 1. Okay. Mode 2 is if you support at the open, then the open is support again, which when you have a BLU with positive resilience, this leg appears twice. This is a resilience rule that states if you open above, if you open and support at the open and trade higher, positive resilience shows that the open price is supporting a gap and go. So not only does the BLU provide a leg like that, but resilience also provides the same leg. Cheers. DD93, let's do the rule on that. Bull zone is support to next resistance. There you go. That's it. Now I'm going to devise a trade plan inside of that window of opportunity. Long from here to there, not a lot of travel. What happens up here? Well, it's irrational. Like I don't trade outside of that box. Maybe a small 10% of my normal position. I don't care. I probably won't touch it. Plus we have FOMC over here. Like I really don't care. So what if today we sold off on CPI? It happens a lot. Resilience in NASDAQ is very negative. So be very careful NASDAQ doesn't drag us down today, right? It's very rare that the NASDAQ leads the market down, but you can see that there is potential for big tech to be selling. That resilience is dropping like a rock here. Hold on one second. So what could happen is we can pull down to here, and when we get here, a 93 DD is likely to support off of this as well. So there could be some scalps in the bottom side of this, especially if we sell hard and like you're trading down in here and DD is positive. We always know there's a leg from here to here, at least from there to there, and then close out. We call it, you know, the DD I guess there's no name for it, but in bear zone, SPY will at least want to connect back to the bull zone. There's some potential longs in here to save the market, but like I said, there's not really any good trading here. Right. So you can see today I have a couple of ideas. Like I can either take that long there. I can let it sell off, and then I can take this long to there. This right here to me is a better trade. If resilience is challenging from this point and resilience is negative, then that play no longer takes off, because a negative resilience will start to pivot from there. Actually, sorry, a negative resilience will pivot from there at this point. So all of this requires res to be greater than 0, as you note. If res tends to float below 0, right? Like, say, for instance, we sell today and hit here, resilience is likely to be less than 0, which means any upside is going to limit on the band on that side as well. Do y'all see that part? So when I try to get like 2 or 3 steps ahead, I can say, well, positive resilience is going to support just to there. If we do fall and get those DD trades, resilience is likely to be negative. I mean, it's already 33 up here. So if we fall down to there, it's clearly going to be at 0 or lower probably, right? So that I know markets are irrational. I don't know if they're irrational yet, but you're right, Colin. It should be plus or minus 10 if it's irrational. So if you get down here and resilience is not strongly positive, like not greater than 10, then any bounce off of DD band is, instead of returning to open, which we normally do open v open on a bull long up, I wouldn't do open v open on a bull long up if from here resilience was negative. So it's like a more advanced way to see this, right? So remember, when we draw all these pieces here, open v open has to pass through this redistribution zone. So each time I get to one of these places, I need to eyeball resilience to see what we're doing to decide, do I hold or cut out? So let's think of a scenario, right? We're trading like this and trading like this, and all of a sudden we start selling, and it falls and it falls and it falls, and then it's right here, and I go, cool, I went along on the bull long up, everything. The first thing you're gonna check here, DD bullish, okay, check, supporting there. Resilience, what if resilience was negative from here? Well, shit, I'm only trading to there and Xing out. So this move requires, anytime you pass through this box, you always want to consult resilience to tell you how this box is going to pivot. Do we all see that? So if it falls to hedge pressure, the limited upside, it's probably very limited as well. I got along with some risk management to make sure I get out, and I got to hope that res turns positive so that we can continue to push further back to open price. So you see how I'm 3 steps ahead of the trade? Let's get 4 steps ahead of the trade. If we fall to here, it's likely to be irrational, and then the yellow light's going to turn, instead of, it's going to be red, turn back to yellow. DD is probably going to hold the fort, resilience is going to be negative. So I'm going to trade medium. Say that I trade like normally 10 contracts. I'm going to get 2. I'm going to put a hard stop right here. And then once we get to there, I'm going to X out of 1. I'm going to hold 1 more. I'm going to let it hang around, hang around, hang around. And just in case, I'm going to wait for resilience to go positive. If resilience goes positive, then it's going to complete the picture. I'm going to close out the other one. But I've got a hard stop loss on the runner that I'm holding. And that's my trade. 4 steps ahead. Y'all see that? So now I can already say, I'm not going to take this trade. It's too small. I might take that dip to here, but I'm going to play it small because the light's likely going to be yellow when we get there. DD being 93, it's definitely going to be positive when we hit that bull zone. That bull zone is going to support and bounce. My question is, how high does it bounce? And resilience is going to let me know. Do we just get a little wiener bounce there, or like a massive tsunami bounce, like right there? Do we all see how I just drew a trade plan? At the start of the day, there I saw that. I'm forecasting this if we start to get any downside, and then I know, well, I'm going to trade small already. Do you all see that? The idea that you can think that many steps ahead and plan out your trades is what you aspire to do as a trader. Not only where you want to enter, but I already know here I'm going to trade medium to small, medium probably. I already know I'm not going to YOLO 10, 20, 30, 40 contracts there. I'm going to trade medium. I'm going to actually forecast that if we do fall there, these lights are going to be yellow. Yellow lights mean trade medium, trade cautiously, right? Trade half what you normally would. Any questions so far about this process? So not only am I thinking about the 2 legs I do want to take today, if they were possible, that one with all lights being green, that's a bigger position, but it's smaller travel and it's irrational back here. So and Fed's coming up. I'm not going to bet on a big runner before Fed. I've just been trading long enough to know that. So that exhausts the move already. Okay, so I'm not going to take that. The next one is I'm going to trade from here to either there or there under these conditions. So when I get there, I need to analyze resilience on the edge. Any confusion there? Yes in chat, no in chat. And because if we fall to here, we're going to break through hedge pressure to the downside and recover. I already know that that's going to make that light go yellow, which means trade half. So now I got a full size position for a small run, meh, a medium to small size position on possible hedge break for another 15 points. Not bad. Can I squeeze another 10 out of that? Maybe, right? So now I'm going to just, I don't know, go about my day and not sit here and hope and wonder and try to short this and try to long. I already know what I'm going to do and how much I'm going to do. Trade normal size, trade small size, and then stop right there. Got some good risk management. I'm going to trade it just back, and I might just be cautious, trade it just back to there. So now I'm going to wait. In case we fall, I'm going to grab that dip. I'm not going to long from here, exhausting this move, especially with getting a little anomalies there, right? That looks a little odd. Got some stocks sitting around the edge. Let's find it. All right, one second. So with Rocket Scooter, your goal is to try to plan a trade for yourself before you get there and then go enjoy your day and wait for it. Got alarms set. I'm going to take entries at the levels I want to play at and then just kind of call it a day, right? One second, I'm talking to spaces. Yep. Yeah. Boring day, you guys. Questions? Let me teach you how to hunt down that stock. Okay, ready? Here's how you hunt down that stock. Okay, easy as this. If resilience is doing the same thing in the S&P and NASDAQ, and it's about the same magnitude when you size them up the same way, then you know it's a top 10 tech stock because it's common to both of them. If this was doing this in the S&P and not doing it in NASDAQ, then you know it's an energy or financial stock. So far, so good. So now we've deducted it's probably one of the top 10 or 15 stocks in the NASDAQ. So let's go to this. Let's give you guys some technique. Okay. Let's go to NASDAQ market cap list. Sort by market cap. That's what I want to do. I know what they are, but I want you guys to see how you do this. I don't have a tool for that. Top NASDAQ composite companies by market cap. Y'all know it's going to be Alphabet, Amazon, NVIDIA. You know, it's the same. Oh, here we go. Great list. Okay. All right. So let's hunt it down. Ready? How do you teach people the importance of trading and how to leave UB while you're focused? That's the whole point, right? While I'm focused or while you're focused? Okay, that's Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet. You know, it's the same list, the text, right? So which one of these is it? One of these stocks is going to be sitting on their half gap. Let's hunt it down, okay? Let's go ahead and go here. And let's look at stocks. Let's just generate any list, any stocks that are above hedge. Well, actually, let's do I need to create custom range. So to generate a list, let's just create a list. Any custom range, that'll be all stocks above 0. Okay, good. Let's start there. And now let's sort by distance from half gap. And let's actually change this custom range to be something greater than 10. Let's really kind of like remove the penny stocks from the list. Actually, let's make it greater than 20 because we're going to be looking for some big old NASDAQ stock. Okay. Let's go ahead and add a volume filter. I think we have volume filter on there. Oh, I can't add multiples. Oh, well, I need to put a patch for that. Okay, we need to add another custom range. Okay, well, let's just scroll down until we find it. It's distance to half gap right on the edge. Let's just scroll until we get a big volume. Apple. There it is. Found it. Boy, that was quick. Boy, I'm so good at this. So we just found the stock. Just demonstrate a technique of how to find which stock it is that is sitting on the fence. It is Apple. If you look, the cool trick is you look at the two resiliences together. When the resilience gets very sensitive closer to a half gap, it means there's one stock sitting on the edge. And now these indices are market cap balanced. You're going to know that one stock can tilt everything around. So if everything's balanced or sitting somewhere, something like an Apple can really jolt it around. If you look at resilience, everybody on your platform, do you see how it's kind of real seesaw looking today? That automatically clues you in to look for something. So it says, okay, what stock is on the fence and it's starting to drag things down? Clearly, NASDAQ has gone from like positive 50 to negative 50 to positive 50. And so you're like, okay, something weird is going on. It really just means that one really big stock is sitting flat and right on the edge. And so you have to hunt it down. There's some deduction you can do. If the S&P NASDAQ resilience look different, like if it's happening in the S&P but not happening in NASDAQ, then you know it's unique to the S&P. So you would look at like an energy stocks or financial stocks, etc. You can see the S&P has that same magnitude of like a seesaw motion. So then your brain immediately goes, okay, it's a big stock that's common to both. So it's going to be one of the top 10, top 15 tech. So immediately go to the scanner. I can pull up the scanner and filter and look for things that are right on their half gap. And Apple right near the top of the list. And you can see that Apple is sitting right on its half gap and being real jolty. Every time Apple moves up or down, I'm talking 10, 15 cents, it threatens the entire integrity of the entire stock market today, creating that momentum. I promise you that. That's how these algorithms work. If everything's balanced and neutral, one big stock can drag everything down. And Apple being Apple, we all know, is it. So today you keep your eyeballs on Apple. So where's Apple's support in case it falls? See, the idea is when we train traders, you're getting 10 steps ahead right now. Apple will be the reason there's any pullback today because it can cause a chain reaction to scare the market. Apple's sitting there and trading below its half gap, and that's, as you see, it just sitting there for the last 30 minutes. The Nasdaq has been trading down, trying to catch up with that market cap flux. That's what the Nasdaq's designed to do. They track the stocks, right? So now we know it's Apple, and Apple's starting to trade down. Literally while I'm talking, Apple's pulling back. Apple has a support at its open, but if it loses the open, 181.25 is Apple's monthly hedge pressure. So today, I don't care what you're trading. If you have an Apple chart open and Rocket Scooter, right, you're going to see that Apple and is going to control the show. So if the market's falling and I want to make an entry in SPY, I'm going to kind of wait for something like Apple to hit its support and really just wait for those pivots there. So if we start to lose, like Apple starts trading lower from here, I could fall to 181.25. So that's really kind of today's integrity. And watching Nasdaq lose steam like this, it's not one of those days. I'm really glad I didn't take long at the high. Crisis averted, but keep your eyeballs on Apple. So these deduction techniques are kind of what we train traders to do. It's not really hard to do this either, by the way. It may sound like I rehearse what I've done this every day. I mean, I built this platform, right? But we train you guys to be able to do the same style of analysis and being able to, like, okay, it's Apple today. We got to keep an eyeball on. I know Ashton did a clap emoji. To be able to find out like which stocks are kind of the key pivots is also a technique of an advanced trader, to know what you need to watch, because that can be the big downfall today. Microsoft also created a little turbulence as well. That's a good call. Keep another eye on big tech. The way that I see things, and everyone here looking at Russell, I know Russell was something talked about today. You're seeing some sector divergence. So Rocket Scooter has index divergence. Rocket Scooter has an alert called index divergence. That light is yellow, which indicates a caution. It's showing you that there is some stretch between the two indices, as one is going down faster than the other, or vice versa on the upside. So Nasdaq trading down, S&P sitting flat, Russell going up. All you're seeing is rotating out of the exhausted tech, or slightly exhausted tech, into some small caps. It has the same bullish pattern on monthly map. So Russell just looks really good. It just hasn't moved yet. So people are just planting money at different places, taking a little profit from big tech, moving it into the Russell. And when people are rotating money from one indice to the next, it doesn't crash the market. Markets are liquid somewhere. Russell's just the hot topic for now. So obviously, like, I don't see this being any sign of the market collapsing or crashing. It just, when people, the rule of thumb is when people are willing to buy something, everything goes up. Especially if one index like the Russell is navigating higher, that's an even stronger. Jacob in here. That's an even stronger indication, because in a recession, people tend to risk off of the riskiest things first. Like the riskiest things crash. Like, you know, you guys remember monkey pictures and I don't know, fake money that was hot a couple years ago, and that's all crashed. And then the stocks tumbled, and then now the stocks came up first, right? The S&P rallied first, then the small caps are rallying next, and if ever happens, crypto would come last. And the idea is that when people are risking on riskier things, their appetite for longing stable things is the same. They're not going to be, oh my gosh, let's get out of finances and put our money into risky small caps. If people are rotating into the Russell, that's an even greater testament to solid bullishness. What's up, Jake? Good to see you, buddy. Bottom left microphone. Click it. Yeah. You know, Twitter should make this thing where you can actually, like, if you're ever like buried through menus, you have to like go all the way back to get your thing back up to unmute your mic. Wish they'd have like a little mic button that's always present when you're in space. Oh, here it is. I found it. Oof. The bond market is pretty strong. Why SPY already started around 80 and drops? The stock market is gapping up. That's why it's starting high, and people are just rotating out of stocks from the S&P and then rotating into the right. People are just selling S&P stock and getting into smaller cap stocks. So normally what you see, once people like are risking on, and like I say, risking on a recession, people are longing stocks in the S&P and NASDAQ, and as those are going up and kind of reach a peak to where they're invested, they're taking a little bit of profit and then rolling their money into here. This is safe layer number 2. If you've rallied into the stable things and people are just slightly rotating out of those to rotate into the less stable things, the riskier stuff, that's like a second additional layer to the bull market. People wouldn't be buying Russell stocks in mass or the Russell index rallying if the market wasn't double bullish. Does that make sense? So the idea is, to answer your question, why you see what you're seeing, right? Why does the resilience start high and trade lower? It just means that the markets as a whole is gapped up. The stocks have gapped up. And people are just selling a little bit of that for profit and moving out. What does it mean when resilience is moving up and down like this? It means there's one stock that's right on the edge. Resilience gets very sensitive at half gap, right? So resilience is not that sensitive outside of the box. It's slightly more sensitive in the box. And then at half gap, it's very sensitive. That's where it really starts to move. So when resilience is designed to be very sensitive like that. So whenever Microsoft is right here, do you see Microsoft, just this little red, little green, little red candle? Do you see that gigantic V right here? Do y'all see that in resilience? Let me zoom in. Do you see this? Do you see how Microsoft is like rallying, and resilience is just gentle? And do you see how when Microsoft just gets right here, there's a massive V? Do y'all see that, everybody? So this is to alert you that there's some stock transitioning from one side to the other. Oh, my bad. So ideal right here, right? Rallying. Microsoft is moving really fast, but resilience is not going crazy. All the stocks are rallying, as a matter of fact, right? But the humps in resilience are really small. They're mild. But do you see just right here, red, green, red, this tiny little bit. Resilience is massive. Hold on. You see that? Doom. Resilience is extremely sensitive right here. It's not that sensitive outside of the box. It's more sensitive in the box. Very sensitive at half cap. It's designed to alert you that there is something transitioning from one side of the box to the other. And when its magnitude is like this, there is something floating right in the middle that's transitioning. Above, below. That right there. And that's what that means. Let me answer some more of your questions, you guys. Yellow resilience and white resilience. Perfect. Yellow resilience, or white resilience, is the tiebreaker at this white dashed line. White dashed line, white dashed line. If resilience is above the white dashed line, then you pivot this way. If it's below the white dashed line, you pivot this way on the SPY or NASDAQ. Right? So right now, you can see that it's expected to support here if this is above 0, and now it's below 0. I'm not going to expect it to support there. So you can see that the S&P is trading higher and resilience is suggesting lower. So it's likely to fill the gap that way. That's how it works. Yellow resilience is the same type of aggregate analysis. It's an aggregate method of what happens when you get here. If SPY is trading near monthly hedge pressure, if SPY does this, then I'm going to consult the yellow to see if it's going to bounce or break as a market crash mechanic. So you typically trade near monthly hedge pressure closer to the end of the month. But being in a really strong bull market, we're so far away from it, we very, very rarely will interact with it. So the idea that when you fall to monthly hedge, this is a longer term bull support for months at a time. This is a market crash and reversal. If you break through monthly hedge pressure, the market's reversing. So when the S&P gets here, I consult this number. And when NASDAQ gets to its own, I consult that number as well to see what the sum of the stocks are doing. Stocks bouncing off of their monthly hedge pressure, then stocks are going to get some gamma squeeze that's going to keep the S&P from crashing. And it's weighted by market cap the same. So, long-winded answer. White is the tiebreaker of the white dashed line. Yellow is the tiebreaker of the yellow line for the index. You got it? Does that make sense? MDB? It's pretty cool. It looks at the sum of the stocks weighted by market cap and what they're doing here. When the S&P gets to right here, this is telling you what all 500 stocks are doing. For the most part, it's on a scale of minus 100 to 100, but you can see that if you divide, okay, so 11 divided by 200 is 5.5. So on the scale of 0, the seesaw is tilted 5.5% or 5.5 of an arc, slightly bullish. If you're to add up all that gamma potential of which way the stock is pushing or not, you can see that stocks are holding their monthly hedge pressure slightly better, right? Yeah, we haven't seen MHP rig in a long time. So the neat thing is that, you know, to give an additional layer to trading the index itself, we have DD and resilience are two indications that are looking at the sum of what's going on in the stock market. So resilience being a cool indicator that looks for just flux inside of this box for each stock. For instance, if Apple's stock were in the middle and Apple were to move right here, the S&P would move up a little bit as well. And the algorithm would know that Apple is going to want to complete its picture by filling its gap and account for that move that hasn't happened yet. And resilience is trying to forecast those moves that haven't happened yet to see if the S&P is ahead or behind of the sum of the implied moves that haven't happened. So it's basically the flux that hasn't happened yet inside of this box. Which is why when like stocks are just rallying and rallying and rallying, the S&P resilience is like normally just settled. But if the S&P were to move like this in a straight line, here's what resilience would look like. Resilience wouldn't care, wouldn't care, wouldn't care, wouldn't care. Ramp up rapidly. Not care, not care, not care. Everybody that understands logarithmic sensitivity or exponential sensitivity would understand that resilience has a curvature like that. If I were to draw, if the S&P were to trade in a straight line like this, do y'all understand that resilience would move like this, where the slope is infinite here? So it's straight up. And then it's an inflection point as it desensitizes. The further away you move, the sensitivity gets 0. The further away you move, do you mathematicians here understand that resilience has this pattern? If the S&P had one stock and that one stock moved straight through there, resilience would have a shape like that, right? Do we understand that? So resilience doesn't care that something's rallying. It cares that it's rallying through here, which is why it gets very sensitive in the middle. So when a stock like Apple is just doing this, resilience is like doing that. Because that slope is massive. Tiny changes shift the entire balance just enough to where slightly bullish is very bullish. Slightly bearish is very bearish, right? So ideally is that when you look at like what I like to call ticking indicators or aggregate indicators like advanced decline and such, advanced decline just follows the shape of price. It has no sensitivity programmed into it. It doesn't care where you are relative to it. If I were to look at advanced decline, it would look like that. It would go up when the stock goes up. It doesn't have any shape change. This has multitudes more information because the fact that there's sensitivity at half gap and it's exploiting the gap fill mechanic only. It doesn't care what's going on down here. It's not designed to track the stocks at all times. It's only designed to care about stocks trading inside of there. Do we all understand that mechanic? So like, notice how I shouldn't even talking about right now. Resilience is by far the most powerful tool invented for traders, period. This is a leading indicator if there ever was one. Yeah, do you see that NASDAQ resilience dropping to -60 and holding there because of Apple and Microsoft? Ooh, baby. That's crazy. Forever since we haven't seen an MHP break. Yeah, it's right. It's been at least a year. So the neat part about resilience being that it's only really sensitive around the middle of the box for each of the stocks. It really alerts you as to why markets are pulling back. And this is a testament to the design of resilience and its sophistication, right? Right. You see this kind of bouncing around right here in Apple. And resilience is moving up because the majority of stocks are making this move right here. Right? Most of the stocks are doing that. When Apple pulls back, it's not this candle, this candle, this candle. It's this candle right here that makes resilience really move. Let me just show you guys really quick. You see how Apple is selling and resilience doesn't care. Look where my mouse is right here. Red candle, resilience don't care. Red candle, resilience don't care. Red candle, resilience don't care. This red candle, resilience goes, oh, hell no. Let me zoom on. Okay, I got to talk in space real quick. You guys going to call it a day. We're going to do a monthly maps class today, and we're going to continue the boot camp. So I want everybody to come out to this. Again, no trades today for me, sitting it out. I'm going to kind of watch things and take it easy. So, yeah, it's a good day. Great education today. Any questions you have, like I said, come to the Discord at noon Eastern in an hour and a half. We're back to our original schedule. The last month has been day after day after day after day of just building, coordinating. There are so many projects going on right now, from live trading futures, live trading stocks, building our marketplace, where other tools can be programmed on the back end, creating our rule assist, all these things going right now. Can I show you guys something pretty cool? Let me show you, before I get out of here, let me show you something cool that we just did. Hold on. Let me join this space real quick. Don't go anywhere just yet. You ready for this? Let me show you something cool. Oops, let me log in. Oop. All right. Like I said, the platform we're building has a lot of extended features. Y'all want to see something cool? Hold on, let me go. Oops, let me log into the right server here. All right. Okay, can y'all see my screen? Check, check. Missing the IWM long. It's great to see explained like that, Louis. Yeah, no problem. And like I said, having indications that are more meaningful than just price action. You know, having sensitivity to half gap, because half gap pivots something through its redistribution zone. If a stock gaps down or gaps up, there's a reason for that. In the middle is a balance between bulls and bears. So I don't care about the stock moving all over the place to try to determine the direction of SPY at its own half gap. As you see, while SPY is trading down, resilience is still slightly above zero, and while fighting, it still maintains zero. SPY didn't lose its half gap. Resilience is the pivoting agent that is a tiebreaker at half gap. We need it to be, if you go right here, resilience is just right on the edge, right? 2.4, 1.7, and barely went negative for a tick and then came right back up to zero. So resilience positive here, and we're holding the fort. Had we come here and res was -5, -10, -20, it would have completed the picture down there. Okay, good to be alive tomorrow. No, Jerry, I'm glad to have you, man. Can't say enough. What a brilliant job you guys are doing at Rockstar. Time of your life, I'm sure, in a blooming startup. To me, it feels exciting to be part of something big. It's not about anything else other than being part of something big. It's not the team that I've assembled, not just me, but everybody here. Everybody I work with is brilliant at whatever it is they do. It is like when they talk, everyone listens. Nobody steps over everybody's toes. It's not the Matt show. It is like it feels like a Silicon Valley startup with everybody on the team just phenomenal. Everybody has something to offer. Everybody has an idea that's great. Everybody has something different and unique that gives the platform such a cool, unique flavor. And to me, it reminds you of when I worked at Dow as an engineer. Everybody on my team was brilliant and smarter than me. I thought I was smart shit when I went there. Everyone there, I'm the new guy. Everyone there was like someone, I followed everyone around with a notepad taken. When people say something, I'm scribbling down notes. I learned so much from every person there had something to say. And it was like, that's what I love, the idea of the spirit of ingenuity, is to hire people. You don't build something substantial without hiring people that are smarter than you to help you build it. To me, that's the most exciting part about what I do. Every day I collaborate with genius level people at whatever it is they do. And to me, that's the most exciting part of life, to be able to be part of something big. I love it. I love sitting there listening to Ashton talk, Slacks talk, everybody here. I mean, a lot of the ideas, even Slacks is an idea generating machine. Mark coming up with ideas for social media, you know, Nicole got brilliant. Like everybody I talk to and everybody that helps with this project, all of our developers, our partners, everybody, it's just like such amazingly coordinated, substantially motivated, forward-looking team. Everybody is like, I always want a trade platform to have this, and here's how we can do it. And here's an easy, simple way to do it. Like, and we fine-tune every single approach. I mean, there is like, I know it might seem overkill, but we take pride in what we do. Even the design of this is designed not only to give you the information. The new version of this thing, Slacks and I have been iterating on this for a month. Every detail from the color to the roundedness of the corners is being analyzed for style. Not just giving you information, but evoking a certain feeling and confidence while looking at something almost like it's a piece of art. We take everything that serious, the way that Apple designed its rounded corners, to evoke an emotional, elegance. Because to me, when something is pleasing, it's easier to absorb information. If something is jarring, it's very hard to focus on what you need to focus on if something's weird and eye-catching. Now, some examples are, we have red and green is not great for accessibility for folks with color blindness, right? I'm about to show you a cool feature about the, hang tight for a second. So like, we try to find a really interesting color scheme that's going to make everything balance out. It required an entire redesign of this. It's taken a month to do. That's how much detail we put in every little thing, not just what we deliver, but the shapes, colors, the way people perceive it. If somebody was colorblind, immediately would unsubscribe from Rocket Scooter because they're like, well, I can't tell the difference between these reds and greens. They look the same to me. And so, okay, that's an obvious thing any developer should know. And, clearly we understand something like that, but it's even goes beyond that. Is this confusing? Why is this arrow not touching that line? If I were to see this for the first time, like I'm always getting people, like a lot of times when people join Rocket Scooters the first day, I go, hey, can you be my guinea pig real quick? I'll give you a free month if you do. Like, okay, whatever. They say, what? And I say, here, you've never seen this before. What are your first 5 thoughts when you see this? And just be honest with me. And people will say A, B, C, D, E, and I'll go, okay, thanks for the feedback. Like, what is your first response when you feel this? Confusing? I don't understand, or whatever. And so we're always constantly tweaking, even the smallest detail like colors. So right now, I'll tell you 2 new things we're working on. Like, for instance, we're iterating back and forth of how to draw the open price to where it's very easy to understand. The arrows are not done yet, but the question is, how should we display the open price? I mean, we go detail about what we're doing. This is the new liquidity map drawing, and it's designed to be very intuitive relative to the platform. As a matter of fact, it looks like the platform, and it's much easier to understand that level of detail in the platform. The idea that we're representing different things. Slacks and I talk for hours on how we're going to display illiquidity pockets and liquidity pockets. Are we going to put notes down here to make it easy to understand? This, to me, is infinitely better than this. There are so many minor detail changes. Again, ignore the arrows right now because they're going to change. But one of the conversation topics we had yesterday is that this color red, I just want you guys to tell me this. It's very weird, and I can't explain it, but we alleviated that problem here. It's the same palette, but if you actually zoom really closely in on the candles, you can see, and you can go to the settings and see this, the candles have 2 colors. There's an orange border and a pink strawberry colored candle. That alleviated that problem of that kind of what I like to call the neon effect, where the edges get kind of, your brain perceives it weird. The edges are fuzzy-ish when you have just this color strawberry on against this gray background. And you can't really tell on the platform because we changed the color slightly, give a little bit of an orange border so that it stands off with a little bit of hidden contrast. That border is not here. And if you look at these pink lines, it starts to feel uneasy, doesn't it? Like, just stare at my screen really quick. This pink line against that gray kind of makes my blood pressure fucking raise. It feels a little fuzzy, like staring at a neon sign, doesn't it? Like, those are important design features that we work with designers to overcome. So as you see the text, I don't know if it happens to everybody, but can you see, right? Like, it's nice and clean and clear. The green looks perfect, right? The red, not so much. The red starts to look better against a darker contrast, but the lighter the contrast you have. Do y'all see what I'm talking about? There's not a good contrast between here. So right now we're having to redesign just the color and the type of arrow and the contrast between it and the background. So we had a couple discussions how we're gonna do it. The pink looks beautiful against blue. It looks weird against light gray. So when I tell you everything we do, even to the detail, is part of the rocket scooter phenomenon, is that everybody is looking at every little piece and nothing gets overlooked. Even the technologies are that amount of intricacy. If we're detailing the colors to that degree, you have to believe that we're gonna put our heart and soul into everything we do. All right, ready to see this? You wanna see something cool? Say hello to connect the Discord. This is a test server, not done. A new tab coming out called Connections. This will connect your Discord to Rocket Scooter. Not only will it connect your Discord account to Rocket Scooter to auto assign roles, auto remove roles. You never have to message anybody to get roles. The minute you join Rocket Scooter and you click that button and sign up with your Discord, connected to the platform, you have connected the two together. Our platform can now send you DMs when your alerts go off. Our platform can now tell you when hedge pressure is broken in Apple. You can now go into Discord and type !SPY, and it gives you a little rundown of what the numbers are in SPY, or hedge pressure, monthly hedge pressure, all that. That's what's coming. The idea that you don't have to sit there and stare at the Rocket Scooter platform. Somebody says, hey, you can develop an app. Well, how about this? You have Discord. Go ahead and type, if you have the appropriate role, like Pro Plus will have this connection, then you can just go in there and say, hey, Rocketbot, what is resilience, !res? And then it sends you a DM what resilience will be, or what resilience is. Now the platform will talk to your Discord. That's one of many features we're doing. Not only your platform connecting to your Discord, but the platform will be able to connect to your brokerage accounts in the same way. Imagine connecting your platform to Discord to your broker. Imagine going to work and you're in a trade, whatever, and Discord says, by the way, you were long and Apple just broke hedge pressure. What do you want to do? And you just respond to the bot, sell it all. Click a button. And then the bot sells your shit for you. You send an order through Discord that goes to the platform, that goes to your platform. These are the things we're going to for connectivity. Every second of time we can save you is a second of your life we can save. So that you can have a now again, the connectivity to your broker is, this is the baseline connection of Discord. The OAuth will get you connected to Discord through your platform, which means that first thing it's going to do is immediately get you the roles you need. And then the bot will start messaging you your training, like, okay, here's day 1, do this. Here's day 2, do that. So the first steps of the bot are going to be that basic thing. At least in about, I think in a week or so, this is going to be released. You just connect your Discord and all of a sudden it'll make sure you've got the correct roles. Little things like that. But the connectivity is going to be very important, because what happens if you're, you know, it's a backup plan. What happens if you try to log into your broker and the logins and the data is down, and you try to fire an order or whatever, and you can't get through your broker, and you say, okay, well, I have another brokerage account, thank God. Hedge, let me short this position somewhere else or whatever, because I can't fulfill my order. My broker's data feeds are down or something, right? The idea that you can have multiple connectivities to multiple brokers in the same place gives a trader even that ability. An example, how many times have you been in a trade and then Trade data has gone down, you've been able to get out of your trade? Or Robinhood or things like that. What do? You can't log in and submit an order. Well, if I had a TD account, I would hedge my own portfolio exactly the other direction until I can close it all out and the data feeds come back on. Well, shit, I got to go log into another platform real quick. I got to go connect that and get that trade. I got to wash my trade because I can't get out. I'm stuck and the market's collapsing. What can I do? The data feeds are down. Well, I already have all of my brokerages connected to one platform. shit, I can't log into Webull to exit my position. Webull's down. Well, I got to short the market. Fuck. Oh, here, trade a bait. Boom, boom. Short ES futures. Okay, I'm hedged. Phew, safe. Done. Imagine having all your brokerages in one spot. That's where we're going. We'll be there in about a month-ish. It's already coming through. The connectivity to each broker will be down here at the bottom. So having all your brokers in one place is the next step of Rocket Scooter as well. The idea that there are problems that we've faced as traders, with the experience I have and the team we've had experience, every little problem you've ever faced, not just every problem you face daily, but those chaotic problems like that. Like you might say, oh shit, that can happen, huh? My brokerage login servers are failed. The broker, somehow there's an overload. I can't log in. What the hell? I'm stuck. And before you have that one time in your life that you blew everything up because you couldn't do anything, we've already solved that problem for you. That only happens once a decade that you wouldn't know, or once every couple of years you wouldn't know. So the idea is that with the AI, we always say Rocket Scooter AI is the name. The AI portion is the next level of our platform next year, where it would actually understand what's going on and it can communicate to you the situation you're in. It's not giving you investment advice, but it can say, we've detected that the login servers are down and blah, blah, blah. And historically this happens and yada, yada. You know, here's what happens in this environment. Like that it can actually coach you through scenarios and things you wouldn't understand because you've never seen it before as a trader. And the idea is that it's going to constantly be learning from things in the market and trying to find solutions for you as they arise. A real AI platform. And these are the next step things after we build all the basic stuff, connecting to your Discord, things like that. Now, again, we're pushing the boundary as far as we can go up against that gray area of giving you investment advice because the platform can't, but it gives you information and you can choose to act or not. Like all the visions I have are to go as far as we're legally allowed to go to make sure that we guide traders in the information and the problems you would face without giving you investment advice. And we get as close as we can to that boundary. If you really want to cover users with color blindness, go for the pattern fill option for candles. What is pattern when you say, oh, patterns fill like Matalizé and like diamond pattern, dash pattern, things like that. So that's a great idea. So one of the things I'll see what can be possible, since to skip steps to get to like the real stuff that we're building. We went ahead and white labeled TradingView as a temporary solution just to have charting. At some point in the future, we're either going to white label a more open-ended charting platform or build our own. Ideally, we didn't want to waste our time building a charting portion because this is very complex on its own and it's already done, right? We want to skip steps and build the real stuff. So the question being that the limitation of the TradingView library may not allow us to do all the things we want, which eventually will drive us to build our own stuff, maybe if they don't allow us to do it. So like if TradingView has that ability, we can turn it on. If they don't, we're kind of stuck. And there's certain things we can't build that easily because they just don't allow that modification. So in the future, because we've hit design limitations of like what we envision and we can't actually do, in the future, it might be inevitable that we do build our own charts from scratch, or we work with someone else that has the flexibility, like, you know, TrendSpider, for instance, ever were to white label their charts, we could always go that direction if they had the ability for us to have the flexibility to create new things. Oh yeah, my cat, hold on, did you lock yourself in? Buddy? All right, go. So I love TradingView. They are phenomenal. No complaints there. But again, my vision goes beyond the scope of a traditional charting library. So it's not expected that they haven't thought of everything that I want to build, right? So if we hit enough hurdles, it might push us to have to create our own to overcome them. Right now, we can do mostly everything, but like small details like that. If I put in a ticket to explore, hey, can we add, can we add like patterns? Then, and they don't have the ability to do so, we wouldn't be able to create the ability to do so. We can only, they only allow us to like turn on and off features that are native to the library. There's only so much that we can customize, but certain things that they have, it's just like brand thing. It's like if I were to have Coca-Cola in my restaurant, right? Coca-Cola won't allow me to add lemon lime juice to it and then have the word Coca-Cola here. They protect their own integrity by not allowing you to just mod every part of it, which makes sense, right? You can't go in and change the Coca-Cola recipe and serve Coca-Cola to make it taste different. And that makes sense why the library is limited to the experience of TradingView. And so certain things you can flex on, other things you can't. And that's what any tech company that built a licensed product would do. The licenses limitations on what it allows you to modify, which is perfectly explainable. So some of the things we do want to create, we can't create with this particular library. So we'd have to buy something that allowed that flexibility, or to buy like a pure white label that allows us to just infinitely customize or build it from scratch. And like I said, there's other web-based charting platforms out there. TradingView clearly being a cream of the crop, has everything. Yeah, Smart Start TradingView, it's like a stopgap, right? It gets us there. We might be with them forever. We might outpace or outgrow the capabilities here. But building our own from scratch is like years of work. It is not something economically feasible for a couple small changes, right? While ideally, you know, will be such a massive burden to just have patterns inside of the candles. It comes down to why I'd like to have everything. We have to have an economic reason to build that or go somewhere else. And so at some point, there's a couple ways we can go. We can always talk to them and ask them if they can make the modification in a global sense and recommend that they add that feature so that we get that feature. That's always a place you can go. But yeah, you heard my cat. Yeah, he shut himself in the room there. But yeah, so connect the Discord. It's already available on the test server. I've connected my Discord. Works very well. So that's there. And connection's going to have broker connections after that. This is what I've been building for the last couple months. I know it's this is just a placeholder. It's going to look prettier, but it's going to say like not connected. It'll have the word connect. You'll click connect, and then this will say green connected, just like this says green connected, just like that. And it'll be displayed right here. So you can click connections, and it'll have all the things you're connected to, and then like another list, like connect some more things. Like, what do you want to connect? Webull, you want to connect your TD Ameritrade, you want to connect to whatever, boom, 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 and then you'll have your connections. And then a one-click disconnect if you want to disconnect something. What brokers connect to? So we'll be the first platform in the world to do this. We'll have the most connectivity of any broker platform out there because what we've paired up, no one's done yet. And so I say this with a little asterisk, but we're gonna be able to connect to any broker but Robinhood for the most part. I mean, any broker. We found a way into all of them for the most part. Again, no guarantees on what will and won't work out the door, but we're pioneering that connectivity to the degree that we're working with other groups and other companies also pioneering technology in the brokerage connectivity space. And so our job is to create as many broker connections as possible. So not only are we going to be immediately at par with the best interconnected platform out there, we're going to push to connect to more of them. So you name somebody. We have over 80 something futures FCMs connected to any futures broker you can name. We'll be able to connect to Trade-of-8 and NinjaTrader. We'll be able to connect, name it, Philip, Dorman, everybody. After that, we'll be able, or at least send orders to them. And after that, we'll be able to connect to Interactive Brokers, TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, Webull. I mean, you're not gonna name a broker that we likely won't be able to get into. Robinhood is the only one that we don't have that connectivity to yet that I can name that's a major. Street Smart, I'm not sure. I'll have to check on that. And I'm saying, there's obviously, when I say every broker, every major broker, there's a bajillion brokers out there. And as the years go by, we're going to try to connect all of them, right? It's one of our major tasks, is to create the ability to connect to every broker. And so, as far as I know, Street Smart it's not ringing a bell. So when we went over the list, I don't think I saw that. So but like I said, we'll continue to push to see if they have API connectivity in any degree. We'll be able to connect in some way to them. Fidelity, right? All your majors, your major banks. Even on the futures side, where we'll be able to connect to like Goldman and JP and like to trade in those futures accounts. But like I said, the way we're doing it, it hasn't been done before to this degree. So it's going to look and feel, let me just say this. It's going to look and feel weird as we're creating the ability to make it seem seamless, like a real connection inside of a broker platform. Imagine you connect to TD Ameritrade through Thinkorswim. It's all there. The order's there. The DOM's there. It's just all seamless. At first, it's not going to feel ultra seamless, but you'll be able to submit orders to your broker. As we continue to develop and integrate our technologies further, it'll start to feel seamless. It might just seem like, okay, an example, you open a DOM and the DOM has its own data feed from our platform to it. And then you open an order ticket and submit an order to Webull. We may not have all the connectivity yet where we're displaying the options ladder and things like that, because we can only build things so fast. So at first it'll be like, well, I still have to have my ladder open from Thinkorswim or Webull, but I can at least submit my order through Rocket Scooter, right? And then as we build, then we'll build the ladder in one place. So the idea is that obviously we have to build all the components for different things, like multi-leg orders on the ticket. Different things will have different structures and different feels, and it's going to look and feel different than the traditional trading platform. That's going to be the learning curve from the launch point. Then as we expand and grow, it'll start to look and feel seamless, just like every other experience. So we'll have like a little bit of a learning curve to have a universal order system that works on all brokers. It's not going to have a different ticket for each broker. You're going to have one ticket that's going to work on every broker, when every broker needs to be communicated to differently. A ticket is where you submit your order. So at first, it's going to be like basic, like buy and sell market orders, right? And like I said, you might not be able to do everything at first, but as we grow and make it bigger and bigger and bigger, and keep, again, making it a seamless feel where it's a Rocket Scooter experience, and your broker just gets the order and your broker just sends the confirmation, and you order the way Rocket Scooter teaches you to order. That's kind of where we're going. So as we develop, like the first order ticket's going to likely be market orders and limit orders and stop loss orders, and that's basically it. Every broker needs to be communicated slightly differently. And we're going through three separate environments. You have options environment, stock environment, futures environment. They're all different. So it's a challenge to do this. And like I said, what we're building is big. Okay, thanks for tuning in, you guys. Discord connectivity coming through soon. This is unlocking the bigger parts of our platform. We love you guys sticking with us, being part of this. If you're able to join the extended trial, it's at $35 a month. You can test this out and please support the platform. That's why we love you guys. Things that we're building. This is where you can grandfather in such a low rate forever. The $35 a month is the $200 a month package. You can grandfather that in, and if you stay till the end of the trial, you get a really massive like founders discount that you can keep forever as a thank you for being an early supporter of the platform. In the future goes by, your prices never go up from that, and that's the best part. And people are loving that discount, I'm sure, because obviously, thank you for supporting the community. Love y'all, and we'll see y'all later. Gotta go. FOMC tomorrow. Don't do too much today. So again, remember, Rocket Scooter is changing the game for traders, not just technology in the platform, not just hedge pressure and resilience and DD, which by themselves, the whole reason you probably joined Rocket Scooter. If you didn't know, we're building a platform that's going to change the game for platforms, not just the technology inside, but it's changing the game for trading analysis. We're taking two angles to corner the market and dominate Wall Street for retail and put the power of retail or power of Wall Street and institutions back in the hand of retail. We're going to give you a better, faster, more connected platform and technology on the inside to let you look over the shoulders of the traders, the major firms of Wall Street, so you can see where the bull and bear positions are, so where the market makers are positioned and where they're hedging, so you can have a leg up and a faster connection to the market, faster information to you, less laggy, less brokers all over the place, less millions of screens and millions of charts, one chart, one place, all your brokers, one-stop shop. Rocket Scooter, taking your trading out into orbit and ruling the galaxy. We'll see y'all later.